My phone's on the music, still going.
Yeah, I hope you've had a good week in it.
Hello, John, in there. I'm there. Yeah, I've had a good one. It's not been too bad.
Do you know sometimes you have a week where nothing happens, and then you have a week sometimes where it feels like a full year happens?
Oh yeah. Oh,
it's been like that. I had a tooth. I didn't have a tooth. I had a tooth again, and that was just one issue. It just carried on like that. Yeah, it was fun. And I lost my tooth just running upstairs. I just might be getting old, you know. Yeah, so
I had a friend who did that. She was eating at when we was at uni, and she bit down on something, and the bleeding tooth had come out in it. It give us a laugh, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, I wish mine were more like interesting of a story, but no, I just ran upstairs, coughed, swallowed something, and I'm like, oh no.
We gave her the great idea. She should use a Tic Tac just to stick it in.
just to rot whatever's remaining. You know.
Stick that in it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll do it. It'll be all right for now.
Yeah. No, that's so. Yeah, I mean, sometimes weeks just go like that, don't they?
They do. Well, we don't have anybody in yet.
No, there's nobody in yet, but okay, that's not a problem.
One person. Oh, that's probably you, John.
I am in there, yes. Because I'm sharing, you know. Robert Fulton, how you doing?
Ah, Robert. Hello, Robert.
Do you know, yeah, maybe that's just the way to go. Yeah. Take them out every night, clean them up, and then put them back in. Yeah, I literally just ran upstairs and half my tooth fell out. It was really sharp as well, so I couldn't move my mouth much without it cutting. It was, yeah. So yeah, it was like that, but I laughed at things, but stuff like that happens. I just laughed at it. I thought, can't be bothered to moan about it. I just thought it was quite funny. But yeah, hiya, Paul. No. Yeah, I mean we're talking about symbolism, aren't we? And symbols.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger one than what. I mean, at first glance, it might. I don't know. To some, it might seem like a small subject, but
no, it's massive. It's huge. Like I said to you, when I said to you, which point am I looking at? Because you got into it, and you go in there, and everything. So I thought I'll just stick with how it started, how basically.
Yeah. I mean,
symbolism anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with symbols, for instance, as well. There's a lot of things where a few scientists did a study with people what used a very symbolic language, an alphabet like Japanese, Chinese, and then the Western alphabet where they use letters. And they looked at the brain scans and how it fired different sections of brain. And then the sections of brain that it fired, for instance, in the symbol languages, where it fired that brain more near the logic and mathematical side of brain. And then with Western letters, it fired it more near arts. And then what they said is, if you look at the societies of West and East, there's a lot of very, very intelligent people when it comes to logic, maths, this kind of thing.
You stay away from sort of the Western influence. That's what it is.
Yeah, and then in West,
with all this, they're not with all this symbolism, and symbolism is basically you don't realize it, but it's hitting you in the subconscious.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, just the Western alphabet firing on arts. I mean, if you have a look, we're really good at in West. There's a lot of great arts, theatre, music, poetry, things like that. It's very good and very big. But they were looking at our societies are different depending on language they're using.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just one. There's just a little glimpse of how important symbolism is to human society.
Yeah.
It
uses power and a way to influence and direct. Yeah. I said the question really is: do you think that your everyday life is free? Because it isn't.
Yeah. So yeah, there's So there's a lot that there is that as well. I mean, so anyone in comments, if you've got something that you can, when we're talking about this, where you see it and you find yourself reacting in a certain way, or you see it and it changes, it attracts you, or it changes what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like an emotion. You don't realise it.
Like if you're in a foreign country and you're like, I'm starving, where do I go? And then you just see Big M. Some people will go, I'm just going to McDonald's. There we go. I've seen Big M. I'm done. Yeah. Me, I go to France, I eat snails. That's me. I go to Malta, I'll eat rabbits.
No.
That's me. I do opposite.
No, Malta. I wouldn't eat it when I found out what the national dish was.
Yeah. But as you know, Annette, I do opposite most of the times of what normal people do. So it's like, I see a Big M, but I don't like to go to stores when I'm abroad. I want to go to their shops.
Yeah,
I see a Next and a Boots, and I'm like, why? I don't want to go there because I can do that at home. I want what they've got.
Yeah, it's like if you go to Greece, well, you've got to go to theirs. Anyway.
Great food, love it.
Yeah.
So it's about that, and then everything turns off there. Nope, back. So yeah, symbolism. I like just like that. When you're in a foreign country, you want something to eat, you see a Big M. You see symbol of Starbucks woman.
Yeah.
That's a pagan goddess, actually, after a pagan goddess. And like you were saying with the symbols that we were talking about earlier, when we had a chat, it creeps through, doesn't it?
Yeah. It becomes a cultural thing. It's how society. If they want you to do something, it's a hidden language.
Yeah.
But also that hidden language, like I said, it started with the ancients, obviously, because they didn't have letters and words, so they did everything by symbols. But if you look at some of the shows that we've done, where things are passed down, it's subconsciously, it's here anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
it's a human. It's a human trait. It's passed. It's like animals. You know, they know where they're going, what they're doing. They don't.
Yeah.
When it comes from it goes from generation to generation, and it's the same thing there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
they certainly know how to trigger us and to get what they want.
Yeah, that's it. Symbols can be used for that.
Because if you read words, you read something and you think, oh, I don't even care about that. I'm not listening to that. Subconsciously, if they put a picture out, it'll be a totally different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Because you've seen something, but it's going to the back end and it's saying, and it's causing like that emotions.
Yeah, because I mean,
they run everything, religion.
Yeah, I mean, Derren Brown proved that in one of his shows when he mapped out he put symbols and pictures and images all the way down this guy's route home from work, and then they knew that it would take an effect in his dream.
Yeah,
that were a crazy episode. It was quite interesting because the guy didn't know he saw it, but his brain saw it. So you see that many things all at once, but you're only concentrating like at moment on this laptop or whatever. But my eyes are also seeing a lot of other things, So Darren Brown, he changed the adverts subliminally to give him a message on the bus stops, for instance. So he's walking past, he sees them, but he's not taking any notice, really. He's just seeing it. Bit by bit, it got to him, and it altered the way it chose things at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's an amazing another level of conditioning.
It's very clever. It's very clever. But they don't, and way back in time, they've always been clever with it.
Yeah. And the news do it. They do it with news. They'll have a death calculator on during a pandemic, or there's been an attack. They'll purposely give different numbers, so it makes you concentrate on difference, and then look for truth. And they already know truth, but they'll give different numbers, and it's to alter where you act when you see it. So if they gave you just one number, you'd see it, go about your day. So a lot of people, when they say it says 51 there, so when they're saying 20, hey, what's going off? And then you dig in, you know. So they know very well how to make you do, not how to make you do things, but how to encourage you, so in a subliminal way.
Oh yeah, it's more powerful. It's actually more powerful than the written language, than the actual written language. Because you don't realise that you're doing it, and you don't realise it. You're taking it in. It's a bit like that film, isn't it? It's that daft old film that They Live. Is it They Live?
They Live, yeah.
It's all these subliminal change of signs. You know what he's seeing.
Yeah.
Obviously, seeing the pictures, it was going in what he was seeing, but.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't go out. It's in your face all the time.
Yeah.
Wherever you go.
You all right, Philip? Phil's there watching. But yeah, you're right. It's symbols. They can reach you at a different level. So, when you mention culture, culture and symbols. I suppose biggest example would be the swastika, for instance. You'll find that shape. Thank you, Phil. Nice one. You'll find swastika in a lot of designs that were put into architecture, which were probably there would have been. Introduced that shape by like Hindu culture and Buddhism, things like that. So before World Wars, they were carving this shape into buildings because it were a good look. It's a good look. It's a peace sign. In some cultures, it's a peace sign. Some it's balance. In Jewish mysticism, they have a solar. It's the solar. The solar spiral. It's like a poem or a chant, and that's in the shape of a swastika, and that's in Jewish mysticism.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not an evil symbol. It's the fact that this bad guy used the symbol. Only way really reclaiming and discarding evil is by making sure everyone understands it's not the symbol. I mean, there's a country on the national flag, because they're Buddhist. It's not an evil symbol. We take it away from the bad guy, and we get rid of that influence, and we reclaim it for what it's supposed to be, and that's a balance or a good luck sign.
Yeah.
Because if we always keep connecting it to him and bad, it's kind of feeding it.
Well, it's like pentagram. I mean, the pentagram first meaning was harmony and teachings.
Yeah,
I mean, appropriated and then turned into occultism from that.
Yeah, it Yeah. Like I feel saying with, especially with swastika, they put a red background in back. I mean, red, communism, dictatorship, and then he twisted it on its side. But some cultures even use it twisted like that. It's absolutely nothing to do with that symbol. It's
No.
the bad guy used the symbol. That's all. But yeah, like you were saying, with the pentagram, yeah, some used it for protection as well. Yeah, that's it. I was thinking that balance, good luck, harmony, protection. Yeah, pentagram as well. There's a lot what say, Christianity turned it into an evil thing, but it weren't. Actually, it's used pentagram as a symbol in Christianity. What is it now? Some use it to symbolize the points of crucifixion. So it's used that symbol's used in Christianity. I remember hiya William, how you doing? We're just talking about symbols and symbolism.
I know.
Noreen, and how we first just mentioned how symbols can do so many things to societies and people. It's subliminal. They can trigger people in different ways. What we just covered out best examples probably swastika, where it's an ancient symbol of harmony, protection, balance. A bad guy used it, and we need to take it back off him. And you know, because when I see it now, I don't think that. I think, oh, who's using it and what for?
Sarah David
started. Yes, we'll get to that actually. But I went to Amsterdam and I went to Heineken Museum. You know that red star what's on Heineken bottle?
Yeah.
Do you know why that's there?
No, go on.
So when we were there, the copper brewing vats that they had, the monks, Christian monks, had hung the red star on the vat, and it meant earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. It's a good luck symbol. So that star we put on there, it's good luck. Good luck to that.
That's selfish because it's got like a 5 point, but they only use 4. They don't use the spiritual one, or in some cases called it ethereal or earthreal.
Oh, is it that ethanol? Oh, sorry.
Means the ether.
Yes, ether. That's it.
They don't use it. They only use them 4 elements. They don't use the ether. When actual fact there was 5.
Yeah, definitely. And those monks, when they were putting it on that vat of beer, that's what they were saying. There's 5.
Spiritual one,
yeah, definitely. And
5 are never used anywhere else. It's only over the 4.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and that's a Western culture misses a lot of that out, doesn't it? Really, Robert. I think are all his angels now. Yeah, you say yeah, and it's going to mean different things to different people depending on your experience as well. So. Because I went to a Buddhist temple, and I go every night. Sometimes we'll go. I now see. I see a swastika or that symbol. I decide. I check to make sure it's not being used in a bad way. And then I often think, it must be. I wonder if it's heading towards Buddhism, the use kind of thing, because that's where I see it a lot in their designs. I've got a Buddha up there. It's on his chest, for instance.
Well, I think they're the most spiritual, aren't they? Because they're cut off society, aren't they?
Yeah.
They don't have, obviously the Buddhist monks and whatever. They don't come into society, do
they? No, but they wander around more than what we think. Actually, the one that I met, he gets invited to CERN a lot. Because they love science. Their motto really is prove all things. So One just said it like this. He went, "If I tell you that bottle of oil there is holy, oh yeah, the symbols what head to SS as well, yeah. If I tell you this bottle of water's oil is holy, are you just going to worship it?" I went, "Well, no." "Yeah, good." And he goes, "Because you should prove it's holy. I prove it. If you prove it, then great, well done." And he goes, "Then that's what we do. We want to prove things. If we prove it, test it, that kind of thing." And I found that quite interesting. When they mentioned Hell's Angels, that were a funny one. Do you know when Ukraine and Russian war were kicking off?
Yeah.
I saw this. There were a woman sniper, and she was getting congratulated by media. And I saw a double skull symbol on her chest.
Yeah.
It took them a week to realise they were part of Azov battalion, which are neo-Nazis.
No.
Right, and then they stopped congratulating her, and I'm like, how can you miss it? I saw it and I noticed it straight away.
Well, they probably thought that nobody had paid any attention to it. That's what it is. Yeah. People
would forget the symbol, and it's the double-edged symbol. Azov battalion in Ukraine. There's 4 battalions like it, and but that's most well known. And they were congratulating her because she's a good sniper. It's just connected to neo-Nazis. So yeah, I mean that were a recent, like, look at it, see it happening in front of you and think, wow. Hell's Angels, yeah.
On the ride around a motorbikes, yeah.
They have got a lot of symbols and motifs and things. So yeah, it's amazing.
Ukraine war, Leon the tanks.
Yeah. You see, there's a lot of symbolism, and when you look at it, and again, if you know about it as well, it's amazing. But
Tibetan monks were investigated 3 months to do mandala.
Yeah, that's that fancy art.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spend 3 months doing something.
Yeah.
And then they destroy it. It's like, can you imagine doing that? Like, I've just spent 3 months making this castle.
And I'm going to now destroy it.
I just smash it. But it shows you that you shouldn't have connection. It's a proper training. But this is how important symbols are.
Got the Mandalese. That's harmony and universe, isn't it? That. And they build it, and before when they get where they want, destroy it and start again. Just carry on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's I don't know if you've watched that Insidious. Is it The Last Key?
Yeah.
And the artist woman, what's training them in class, she says, bring your best piece, work harder to piece, bring it, and then when she's there, she just goes, right, tear it up. Bring the best piece that you've done, tear it up. You're going to do one better. And then one of them, I think, struggles with the fact of tearing up his work. But it's like that. Tear it up. You don't hold on to it. And that's how they train. It's amazing. You mentioned Keir Solomon, didn't you?
Keir Solomon,
yeah. Yeah, that's there's a lot in
that. Phil says, what does he on the tanks mean?
Right, I could get confused explaining that, so I'd rather not. But it could relate to
Robert's uniform symbol with armor.
Yeah. definitely. And there's a few other symbols as well that they use, and you see it and you think, yeah, we know who's using them. Definitely.
No, it's always control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Power and control.
Yeah, and definitely.
We've got the symbolisms down to a T. They've been doing it long enough. I mean, it started with the ancient Egyptians, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're basically the best and the founders of it, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the
masters of it, the Egyptians were.
Yeah, I mean, they had the hieroglyphics, and then there's a lot of talk about the gods that they had. For instance, they had bird heads.
Yeah.
There's
the bird head as well. The crowns, they were a symbol of power and godly, and what other people couldn't achieve. So
yeah, definitely.
Steps, everything were.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got Roberts right there. Yeah, traffic lights, controllers, road signs. If it's a triangle or a circle, we know it's heading in a certain direction. Message it's giving us. But William, the John Dee, this is where this guy comes in.
Yeah.
John Dee, he had Enochian. He wrote in a totally different language, and to this day they've not really mastered what he were doing. And he said he were writing in this language given to him by angels, and there's a lot of scholars what say whatever he did, it's highly complex and very, very difficult. To understand, or to even understand how he came up with it. So yeah, but we're looking back at these Kia Solemn, where you've got many different pentagrams, hexagrams, all in one symbol. So going back to that with Egypt, there's a lot what talk about those gods with birds' heads, cats, dogs, things like that. There's somewhat say it were like half human, half animals, and some would say it was just symbolism for character of person.
Yeah,
makes sense. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, because it was with all that, it was that I am higher than you, so therefore I look over you and you will look up to me. That's basically what it was.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
manipulation and control.
Yeah, definitely. And so they had the hieroglyphics. They had the gods. They had many rituals and things like that. Then you've got your Jewish mysticism as well, and there's a lot of history showing when as things were happening in World War II, many of their books, what were getting destroyed, they got the symbols moved on into other faiths like Wiccan and into witchcraft circles and occult. So a lot of that comes from your Jewish mysticism. It's a mixture kind of thing, and that's
because if you go back in the past, obviously it was just in societies at that, but now you're talking transnational.
Yeah, definitely.
They're getting into every culture and basically, so they'll all be moving the same, thinking the same, doing the same. They're not daft.
No, definitely not.
They know what they're doing in order to push society the way they want it. That is how it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Where you might stand up and fight against it. If it's written down, you might say, "Oh, hell that, I'm not doing that." You don't realise this is going in, and you just go in with flow.
Yeah, Yeah, and then your next decision, let's say you were to make a decision or make a choice. How much of it is influenced by what someone's put upon you? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You might think you're making that decision, but
yeah, what you're basing it on. Yeah.
Yeah, these sort of cause emotions.
Yeah, definitely.
And things like this, and then you all get together, the people, and that's how it goes. It flows.
Yeah, definitely. I feel we're just saying there. Yeah, Edward Kelly. He worked with Dr. John Dee, and I mean this is 16th century, isn't it? Yeah, this is 16th century, and this guy, what we're doing all these rituals with many different symbols, lots of symbols, sigils, working with angels. This is a guy what came up with the term British Empire, fought against Armada. I mean, this at that point alters what comes next vastly. So it were a big thing, definitely, and he left behind many documented works on this as well. But also a lot went missing because his library, John Dee's library, were totally plundered. Now there's a lot of groups, and I know one where they claim to have some of his missing work diluted down years, kind of thing. Now you can never tell with that if it's real or not, but you never know. Someone's probably got something on it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Definitely. So the gypsies have signed.
Yeah, they've all got. There's a lot of different like faiths, folklore, and it sticks with it, doesn't it? Like one thing I were looking at is I had one number that I used to think, oh no, like if I got an hotel room in it with this number, I'd try and get it changed. Yeah, not 13. I like 13. 101.
101.
Yeah, because that's my death path. I mean, I've watched Winston in 1984, and I do believe we're very much in 1984 territory. Well, we're not. We're right in the middle of it. And so room 101, that's not good. But then I was looking at number 101, and what I found powers usually do is they get something what's powerful and make it look bad so you come away from it. And it goes all the way back to Azu Mazda in Zoroastrian culture. It's one of the first religions on earth. And Azu Mazda, a god, a creation, he has 101 names.
Wow.
There's a lot of power in that number, 101. Now, if you get off at planet saying 101, that's a bad number, it keeps you away from it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you've got to look at what they're doing. Yeah. Let's say a particular symbol is very powerful. Well, this bad man used it. You never want to look at that again.
Well, it's like the number 13 now, isn't it? You still get people going, 13. No, I'm not doing anything on that day.
Yeah. And in end, there were 13 months in a year. There is still 13 months in a year to some calendars. I believe Hebrew calendar does have 13. And I know at Far East, they go by 13. They go by 13 as well in many farmers' almanacs because it makes sense.
It was like the old time system, wasn't it, when there was 13?
Yeah. And it really makes sense because it collaborates with solar and lunar calendar. You can have a lunar calendar and it divides months up 27, I believe. So there's a lot of sense in that. I know there are some people that don't understand that many of these symbols mean. To be honest, I'm glad they don't, because they would be dangerous. Yeah, well, that is a good point. Yeah, because there's 13 keys. Yeah, there's 13 keys, and on YouTube there were a guy what literally put you through 13 keys. Enochian magic, and I believe he got took down. I did save all videos though.
Yeah.
Just to look at them and study them and things like that. But he didn't do anything wrong in them. But is this too much for general people just to be?
I give them the information, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because it's information that you're not supposed to know.
Yeah, well, at the same time, if the truth is there and it is very powerful, it's up to people to access it. Yeah, you don't have to actively put it out there for everyone to get, but everyone should have access if seeked for in the right way, kind of thing. Robert.
I mean, some people do go around and play about with things that they just don't got a clue about.
Yeah. I mean, some symbols are just used. They repurpose them as well. As well. So it's it can get really tricky. I definitely don't have 101 rooms. What I meant to, yeah.
I'm glad you have 101 rooms. They've got nuts playing.
You know, I wouldn't even be able to eat up 101 rooms, to be fair.
Yeah, 2 these days.
Yeah. But no, like I think it's when I went to Malaga and room 101, and at that time I got it changed. I'm like, no, I'm not going in room 101. You know,
I am not going in there.
Anti-establishment man choosing to just willy-nilly walk into room 101.
But they were going, Mr. Trouble.
Yeah. Winston, we mean John, is going into room 101. No, I'm not. I'm not just walking into that one. But it's I think I think it's really that. It is really that powerful symbolism. It can it can break down boundaries of language as well. So you can see something. It don't matter what language you speak, you're seeing the same thing.
William says he lives at 666.
Yeah. But I've got a book from John Dee's, and it's issue number 777. I'm very happy about that one. And I got that from Atlantis Bookshop in London. And,
I've woke up a few bloody nights at 333.
Yes. Yeah. That's another good number. That's another good number. Yep.
So thank you.
Yeah. Now I'm going back to sleep. Thank you very much. But yeah, when it comes to numbers as well, I believe, saying it properly, in Hebrew language, which is symbols, there's no numbers. So their number would be the first letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
So A coffee, which makes sense, is 1 coffee. So B coffee would be 2, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and then there's all that number signs in it.
Oh, that's a massive industry itself, that one, isn't it? Number signs. Piss off, Robert. No.
Hell. But and then there's like symbolism that's that's used today. When people's making a company logo, a lot of money goes into that, especially those what work for government or work or supply government, because they don't want to put a logo together what treads on any toes. It's like, oh, this looks quite insulting in this particular way or that. A lot of money goes into marketing, and it's usually on visuals, what color to use. Does this symbol offend anybody in any particular faith or culture? They don't want to do it. They spend a lot of money putting them together.
Like, is that just colour? I mean, colour in itself.
Yeah.
It's a mood changer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of use greens and blues for especially now with green tax, trying all this kind of thing. So yeah, eco. So they'll try and put E's on beginning a title or something. Yeah. So I mean, it is really big. I went to Amsterdam and I went to the Ajax stadium, and that's I forgot. Yeah, it's Ajax. It's named after a Greek god. What they do is they've designed the tunnel for the away opponents what to come to ground. As they're going down tunnel, they've decorated the walls in a way that when they're walking down this, they'll be intimidated by our strength as wins, as glory. So they've done it purposely for intimidation. Not like in a nasty way, but just here we are, and you're going to walk straight through our great we are before you even get to pitch. I like that.
It's subconscious, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's up here, definitely.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, and again, some of those players won't be picking up on that as they're walking down there. They might be thinking totally different things, but those visuals are coming in.
Yeah.
And they're hitting in here.
It's going through here one way and ending up in your subconscious or something totally different.
Yeah, definitely. So it's when you were explaining it, I was like, yeah, I like it. Nice. Yeah. Well done.
It is clever.
Yeah, definitely. And why not?
They know the human. We all think they're stupid, but they're not. They're far from being stupid.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They were setting that scene, and why not? Yeah, it's a tool. Use it. But at the same time,
they put billions and billions and billions and pounds into these industries. They're not doing it for nothing.
No, they're not. And without getting into that subject too much, the recent, but it's a perfect example. But the recent pandemic we had, they spent millions on how to efficiently scare people, and they've apologised for that. Actually, the contracted group, many scientists, they said, yeah, we're wrong of us on what we did. But they worked how to trigger fear, which, in my mind, only demonic people and entities do that. But they spent a lot of money on how to make people scared. And it's through the reporting, the numbering of things, the visuals. So when you turn that news on, there's a bright yellow stripe at the bottom indicating something. Font size, everything we're thought of.
Oh, yeah.
On how to get into your head that way. So yeah, it's a big thing. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So like Robert's saying there, look at the cinema, the reels or films had 3 or 4 frames. You're needing this product.
Yeah.
You didn't know you need it, but you need it now. Yeah. So it really is something else. But it's something we've done forever. It's kind of like heads on spikes. If you cross this border, just expect a lot more of this. Yes.
Symbolism ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. And thing is, it in a way, look at it's in nature as well. Nature, like in butterflies, loads of them use the pattern of eyes. So it looks a predator looks, and it's like it think, oh, it's looking at me, it's ready for me, so I'll back off. The colours that they use in nature, animals, it's throughout. So it's like I've read where some philosophize over the fact that if you were to read, this is an example, but you can read many other things. If you were to read Bible, you will see how the word that it's God's language.
Hi, Drew.
Hi, Drew. It's like it's God's language, symbolism on creation.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's really, really big. Hi, Drew. We're just talking about symbols and symbolism and how it's used to.
I mean, it's
used for many things, isn't it? Controlling people and all sorts.
It's absolutely huge. I mean, you got your secret societies.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. You know, with the symbolism on the buildings.
Yeah.
All this lot, it's massive.
Yes, it is. And I mean, I forgot if it's the Lesser Key of Solomon, where there were a note by Crowley saying at the beginning of this book, the symbols are to create a resonant, it's to create a resonant. Oh, what's the word? It's to create a resonate in your brain.
Yeah.
In a particular way that unlocks the demon.
Mm.
So what Aleister Crowley was saying is that these symbols are there to resonate to you the unlocking of a demon. So is it within? Is it to manifest? That kind of thing.
Well, like I was saying to you earlier on, I mean, like I was reading about the emojis, basing them on the Solomon seals. I mean, is that basically a good idea?
Yeah, you see, yeah, probably, absolutely not.
No, it's a modern way, and they're going to be using them in like in what they do. But they're using technology now, obviously, to do all this.
Yeah, I mean, the Goetia seals to the emojis.
If you put that sort of that in with when we did way back when English language as a curse, and then you're using that kind of thing with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, because I have looked at those articles. You know, it's saying that the emojis are based on those sigils.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I think they want to use these in
in
what they do in basing your practice on using obviously technology now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when it comes to that Solomon seals as well, I was talking to someone about a particular faith, but he said there's people of many faiths and they're looking for the Book of Solomon. It's probably on tablet form, carved in stone, so not the book, not particularly a book, but yeah, I'll touch on that one, William. That's a good one. But the Book of Solomon, what they're saying is there's many people from many faiths looking for this book, this lost book. And if found, they'll be able to control the whole of nature. Because it's not no one is supposed to have this one power. And I said, well, what if they've already found it? They went, no, you'll know when they find it. Because it won't last long. So what I'm saying is that's what I was talking to about this with this chap. They're saying when they found the last tomb in Israel, for instance, they were digging down. They weren't looking for that tomb. That was an accident. They were looking on a lead for lost knowledge of Solomon. So that's interesting. William, yeah, demons. So so demons, for instance, I understand them to be spirits. So they can be good or bad. Some demons will have probably tried helping humanity and with knowledge.
Well, they weren't demons. Demons came. That word demon came along a lot longer after that.
Yeah. I mean, it's
that came in, didn't it, when Christianity put its foot in the door?
It was Greek. Shadim were Hebrew word, which just meant spirits of any type. That word then got moved over to Greek to become dominaire. Greek, you would put more of a negative spin on that word. When it comes to West, it goes. We've kind of used it for just negative, really. But I do believe when Crowley were using it, it meant spirits, some good, some bad. Okay. So I won't believe Crowley to be a Satanist just for using demons. Was he a Satanist? Now, some of the things he's charged with was bad at that time. Like some of the things he did in his private life now won't be seen as a bad thing. I don't know at what level, what facts there is on some of these claims. You can never tell. Some exaggerate them, some don't. He left a lot of knowledge behind. And then someone a lot like him, Dion Fortune, a woman, she went on the path of God, still covering the same things as Crowley. I don't think he was a Satanist.
No.
He might have done a lot of bad things. He might have done a lot of sick things. I don't know which ones are true because there's been that many things said about him, and the ones what people always bring up, like orgies, things like that. If we were doing it now, it'd probably not even be looked at. So it was just a different time then.
Yeah, so, time and place, isn't
it? Yeah, definitely. So, William,
I would like to do a live on Crowley.
Yeah, we'll have to do a live on Crowley and bring up, because he did Books of Equinox, and you read through that, and it's not. It's more about celestial timings and influences, energies from planets. Someone mentioned at the top there alchemy. There's a lot of alchemy symbols used, a lot of alchemy knowledge. John D. Some say you were a Satanist. I don't think you were. I don't think you were. That weren't his intention. He believed, and he produced a lot of things what were very interesting. And he said he were dealing with angels. So, and this is a guy what is the original James Bond, and works with Queen Elizabeth and named British Empire. That's why some say we're evil, but there you go. It's no, I don't think they were Satanists, but there might be many different. There might be, you know what I mean, don't you? Annette? We Crowley might have to look into some of his claims and what are definite.
Yeah.
Things that he's done. What's he supposed to have done wrong? Which ones are true?
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
Definitely, yeah, we'll definitely do Crowley. Might do Crowley next week.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because there's another one we could look at with him as well.
I've got a couple of his books, but I've not read them. We'll do this week. I'll go through.
Yeah, and then there's apparently his son, Amado Crowley. Where it really is son, I don't know. But there's the books out there. It might have been wrote by a super fan, but very interesting books. Very, very, really good. Like the one on the Ouija board. Crowley's book on Ouija boards, for instance. And he talks about the deck tiles of Greek deck tiles and things like that. It's interesting stuff. Hi, Marie.
Hi, Marie.
But yeah, we'll have to do that on Crowley.
We'll have a look at him. Yeah. Yeah, because you mentioned Crowley. I mean, some of the people associated with Crowley they have some really bad stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, William? Do you see Crowley as a Satanist? Let's say he weren't a Satanist. It don't mean he weren't a bad guy. He might have done some bad stuff. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to really tell. I just try and go by looking at some of his works.
He wasn't a Satanist. He was against the dark arts. It was mentioned in his book on magic. He ended up banning someone who tried to introduce it to many of his rituals. He was actually into Thelma.
Yeah. Now, I've spoken to people. Because the Thelma Society at one point was trying to, or did, buy Crowley's Boleskine house in Scotland, and I was talking to him. And that's why I ended up in London at Atlantis Bookshop. And they have some interesting things to say about it. And they just want to bring enlightenment. So a lot of it is about enlightenment as well. It's Thelma, isn't it? Thelma and Louise. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for that, William. And we'll look at a lot of stuff next week.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah, we're looking.
I don't think you were
looking to Thelma.
Yeah, I mean it's massive. It's got some. It's big, and there's some.
I mean, really, you can't look at him and not look at that.
Oh no. I mean, someone told me about how he was used as well to during World War II. In Germany, Hitler, for instance, he was using some dark practices to do what he was doing, and the symbolism that were they asked a Western company, an American company, to produce a voodoo doll of Hitler just to get to him. Because he were well into it. Someone did his birth chart and said, "Yo, this ain't ending well for you." To change his path. And there was a story how Crowley were involved in this to get into certain groups to find out what they were doing, how they were thinking, things like that. So I mean, no one's actually made that official. Is that real or not? But it makes sense to me.
Right, we're now on 59, and we've got.
Yes, definitely.
Now 8 o'clock. So
thank you, everyone.
Wrap it up till next week.
Yeah, definitely. And if everyone in
next week.
Yeah, if everyone in chat join us back next week, and we'll have a talk about Crowley and see what your see what people think in comments.
Yeah.
We'll try and I'll try and find the bit what I like. I've read his stuff. The bit I like is, because I try to I often ignore, is the claims against him and what were real. I'll try and find out if I can make sense of that, because there's a lot of weird stories and you never know if it's true or not. But at that time, they'd have seen him as bad because they called him the Beast. But then I look at what he's done, and it don't look that way to me.
Doesn't match up now, do it?
No. But did he do bad things? I don't know. But I don't think he was a Satanist.
Right, and with that, we're going to wrap it up.
Yep, definitely. Thank you, everyone.
Do appreciate you coming in, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.